So yesterday we did greatest common factor, or GCF. Today we're going to do what we call factoring trinomials. Okay, so if you remember, we multiply trinomials, or we multiply two binomials, where we had it like this. We did a double distribute to get x squared plus 2x plus 4x and then plus 8. And then we had x squared plus 6x plus 8. So what we're going to do today is, instead of multiplying and going from here to here, we're going to start with the trinomial and factor and get back to what we call our two factors. So for the first example, we're going to do x squared plus 7x plus 12. And this is where our big X comes in. Oops, I forgot the X. So what we do is we draw our big X like we're drawing. We're going to do A times C on top. Now in this case, A is just 1. So our top numbers end up going to be 1 times 12, which is just 12. And then our bottom number is going to be our B value, or 7. This was the whole point to doing the magic X. So now I'm looking for two numbers. I'm going to draw a line here. So a little different than what we're doing. But I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 12 but add to 7. Those two numbers are 3 times 4 will multiply to 12 but add to 7. So on top we put whatever's here. So in this case it's just 1x, or just x. And then this is what becomes our factors. So we take it over here, we draw two brackets, or two sets of parentheses, and in it we write x plus 3, x plus 4. So let's do one more example. X squared plus 8x plus 15. Our first step is going to be to draw our big X, A times C on top, but in this case again, in all the problems today, we have A as 1. So we won't have to worry about the multiplying yet. So 15 goes on top, 8 goes on the bottom, that's our B value, that goes on the bottom. We set up our fraction. Since it's just, our A value is here, it's just x, or 1x, we just put an x. And now we find our two numbers that multiply to 15 but add up to 8. And now we did all that practice with magic X, and so we know that our two numbers are 5 and 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 plus 3 is 8. Now we're ready for our factors. So we do our two sets of parentheses, and in it I write x plus 5 and x plus 3. Let's do one more example with a negative in there. X squared plus 6x minus 16. So it's still the same idea. I'm going to set my parentheses. I'm going to draw my x with my lines. That's my setup. That's how I should set every problem up like this. On top, A times C, which is negative 16. On the bottom, 6. X on top. Since it's only 1x, so we just put x and x. Two numbers that multiply to 16 but add to 6. Now it's negative 16, So if we take 16 and we list our factors, it might be easier to list them. That's an 8. So 1 times 16, 2 times 8, or 4 times 4. Because now since we have negative 16, they have to subtract to 6. And as you can see, the one that's going to subtract to 6 is 2 and 8. So when I put 2 and 8 in here, 2 times 8 is 16, but one has to be negative. Since this is positive, my bigger number is going to be positive, my smaller number is going to be negative. That multiplies to 16, but adds to positive 6, because when 6 is positive. And then this just becomes our factors. So I have x. Now since it's negative 2, I put minus 2. And then x plus 8, since it's positive 8. So negative 2, positive 8. And that's it. That's how you factor a trinomial.